This is TWiT.
The IRS, which for a long time Congress has really been steamrolled by companies like Intuit and H&R Block, who made for money tax preparation software. They've managed to convince Congress never to let the IRS do a free solution. Well, the IRS is finally rolling out a free option for filing federal tax returns. Now, don't get excited. It's only going to be available this year to a dozen states. It's an in-house filing system. I mean, in many countries, it's interesting that I don't know if this would ever fly in America, but in many countries, you get a postcard in the mail that says you owe this much. Agree? Sign here. You send it back, and that's that. The feds know how much you made, right?
I mean, yeah, especially if you were like a W-2 employee.
Yeah.
They know.
Yeah.
It's been reported to them.
They can do the math. So 12 states, you get to try it out. IRS says it's a critical step forward for this innovative effort. File for free directly with the IRS. What does Intuit say? It's a half-baked solution and a waste of taxpayer money. Intuit, by the way, makes TurboTax, just in case you didn't know. The direct file scheme is a solution in search of a problem. Intuit for years has offered TurboTax.
Solutions are paid service.
Yeah, it's
TurboTax.
Give us $86. It's not going to hurt you. For years, they've had a, quote, free thing. They'd either hide it, right, way behind, many, many layers, and they do this to me every time, file for free, fill it out. Oh, did you want to file this? Oh, that'll be $86.
No, it's state. It's when state comes up. It's like, you want to do your state taxes
You want the state too? That's another $12. Oh. It's like, and I fall for it every freaking time.
You use TurboTax, Leo?
I do. Not for me, for my mom. I do her taxes, and it's you know what? The only reason I use TurboTax, her taxes are pretty simple, but it imports from her brokerage where her savings are, her IRA is. So I don't have to fill in any forms. I just import it.
It's probably not a ton of labor that you're saving, though. It's like one form with one
Speak
number.
for yourself, Cathy Gellis.
Yeah, I will say, a couple years ago, whenever I did a pandemic-era layoff and then got another job, had complicated taxes, I switched from TurboTax to an accountant, and man,
it's
that
nice
guy's
to have
great.
a
I use him
human
every
do it.
year.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. I just send him one email. A day later, he gets back with all my stuff.
He doesn't make any mistakes.
He doesn't.
I had a tax preparer who screwed up many years in a row. I had a big bill because he screwed up. I have a friend, same thing.
But do you trust a group of humans more or TurboTax?
TurboTax. It's a computer. It never makes mistakes.
We have
That's
learned
true.
nothing from this
I will
show
say,
so far.
as Leo is an automated machine, as we've now discovered, this all makes perfect sense.
No HAL 9000 computer has ever made an error. The direct file
What
pilot
are you doing, Dave?
will be open to low and moderate income taxpayers with simple returns. I feel like this is not new. Like they've always had the easy, right? The 1040 easy online, but I guess this is new.
Well, not always, obviously.
Yeah. Can't have interest income of more than $1,500. Gig workers not eligible. Unfortunately, like 90% of people under 25 or 30 are gig workers these days. IRS said in November it expects several 100,000 taxpayers to participate in this limited pilot, the IRS Free File Program. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, so the IRS has always provided online forms any filers can use regardless of income to file returns at no cost. That's always been there. The nonprofit newsroom ProPublica has reported, for instance, that Intuit's TurboTax program steered users away from its free version, and Intuit no longer participates in Free File.
ProPublica has done some phenomenal reporting on Intuit's kind of complicity in a variety of different schemes to make it harder for the average American
This
to
was a few
file
years
their
ago.
taxes.
They called it the TurboTax Trap. Come along as we try to file our taxes for free on TurboTax. It is rather fun. I go through this every time. You see the ads that say free filing, H&R Block, free filing. IRS e-file, fast and easy. TaxAct.com, free filing, free guaranteed, zero Fed, zero state, zero to file. So they actually went to all this. You know, it says free guaranteed, right? We started the process, created the profile of a TaskRabbit house cleaner who took in $29,000. They did a fake return. They did a bunch of questions. After all of that, only then did we get to the bad news. TurboTax revealed, this isn't going to be free. Turns out you don't qualify because you're a gig worker. It's going to cost you $120. Then they went back to free guaranteed. Walgreens cashier without health insurance. Charge to accurately complete your taxes. You need to upgrade to TurboTax Deluxe, $59.99. So who gets to file for free? That's the question. TurboTax has been playing this shell game forever. So have all of them. And
that's their business.
Yeah.
Rent sinking.
You may remember and let's give them some credit, the Joe Biden Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 ordered the IRS to study direct filing. In May, the agency reported it to Congress. They found a majority of taxpayers would be interested in using a direct file tool. A majority.
I'm surprised that not every American was like, I love tax filing.
I want to pay for
complicated
TurboTax.
and expensive.
Yeah, let's keep this crazy. A separate report from the Treasury Department's Inspector General said the design of the surveys overstated taxpayers' interest. Oh, please. It just goes on and on.
Right. Taxpayers are renowned for, yes, of course, I'd like to pay more for stuff.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'd like it to be more complicated and expensive specifically.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And taxpayers in particular, that's the interest that interest group is most known for.
That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
Yes. They don't call us payers.
We want
for
to
nothing.
be paying
Right.
more.
We're not tax takers. We're taxpayers.
Right, yes. We are proud of it.
Proud of it.
Hey, I'm Rod Pyle, editor-in-chief of Ad Astra Magazine, and each week I join with my co-host to bring you This Week in Space, the latest and greatest news from the final frontier. We talk to NASA chiefs, space scientists, engineers, educators, and artists, and sometimes we just shoot the breeze over what's hot and what's not in space, books, and TV. And we do it all for you, our fellow true believers. So whether you're an armchair adventurer or waiting for your turn to grab a slot in Elon's Mars rocket, join us on This Week in Space and be part of the greatest adventure of all time.